friends, welcome back to Fantasy Awash. Today we are going to be recapping Season 2, Episode 3 of The Wheel of Time. This will not contain book spoilers. Let's jump in. The episode starts with Nynaeve going through the arches, and we have all the other Aes Sedai there. Her first test we see is a young Nynaeve, and she is back with her parents. This is kind of a throwback to Season 2, where she was talking about the last moments with her parents and the words that they said to her, which Lan translated for her from the old tongue. So that's kind of a callback. When she comes through, they cleanse her. This is part of the ritual that happens. And then she gears up to go through a second time. And in the second trial, she's back in the Two Rivers, acting again as a wisdom, or trying to act again as a wisdom, because Mat's mother has taken over as wisdom. And as we can clearly see, things aren't going very well. So she is very frustrated by this, which is not that surprising for Nynaeve's character, but she has to go back because she sees that the way back comes but once, and that's really important. We then have her come through. She is told that she has to go through the whole test, or she has to leave the White Tower, so she decides to go through with the third test. While she's in with the third test, it appears that she's a Red Ajah possibly, but that something is fighting her, and she comes out with all of these wounds, and she kind of has it out with the Aes Sedai that are there, denies the ring, and then wants to leave. And that leads her to then not taking that ring at all and having a conversation with Egwene, where she leaves and is just off from the White Tower. She tells Egwene that it's good for Egwene to be there, but she herself doesn't belong there. She went there for Egwene. As she's leaving Tar Valon, she runs into Lan, and we get a glimmer into the fact that this is actually part of the third test. This isn't actually what's going on at this point. So they did a good little fake out in this scene, which was a nice touch on their part. But we then kind of jump back to Perrin's storyline, and we are finally given a name for the villains, and it is Seanchan. The Seanchan are who we saw at the end of Season 2, and then obviously at the end of last episode, who came in and they slaughtered all of these people. It appears that Ishmael is working with them, the Forsaken, or leader of the Forsaken. We see that Uno bites it in this episode because he doesn't want to succumb to the Seanchan, but his death makes everyone kind of supplicate and bend the knee, as one might say. Back in Kyrene, we see that Logan and Rand are starting to have their dynamic kind of build, and that Logan says he won't help him unless Rand gets him some wine, which doesn't seem too out of character for the Logan that they've established in the show at this point. But Rand doesn't know where to get this type of wine. He tells Selene, and Selene is explaining what the Hunt of the Horn of Valyr is to him in the meantime, and she says that there's a way that she can help him get this wine. Back in the White Tower, Nynaeve hasn't come back through the arches, so it's supposed that she is dead. This news is then told to Egwene and Elaine. Egwene, of course, takes this news quite harshly because Nynaeve is her best friend, but in the meantime, we see that Liandrin is toying with Mat again, and she lets him out of his room, and that's an interesting new note. But Mat doesn't really know how to react to this, so he kind of holds off on any initial judgment. But Rand is snuck into a party with Selene so that they can get the wine. It's a nice little homage to the book The Great Hunt here, if you're familiar with it, that the jacket Rand is wearing is the jacket that is on the cover of that book. So there's that. Logain basically tells Rand when he is given the wine that there's no way to control the One Power, which is what Rand was hoping to get an answer to, but Logain says, good luck. Min then climbs through the wall to be with Mat, and they decide that they are going to escape together, so that's a new partnership that has started. Ishmael is once again kind of controlling everything behind the scenes. He's now trying to get into Perrin's head over the fact that the sooner Perrin becomes a wolf, the better for him. So that's a plot point that they will hopefully expound upon in upcoming episodes. And then we see that Rand is starting to lose control. However, this appears to be a dream sequence, but that loss of control carries over into the morning, and he sets the inn on fire. And Logain was right, you just can't control the One Power. Back in Nynaeve's dream space, though, we see that she is married to Lan. They have children, or at least a child, and Perrin and Mat are there. They have a very nice, comfortable life, but she starts to realize that this is part of the test and has to go back through the arches, back through the Tiangreal, and she does so trying to carry her daughter with her, and this is a really heartbreaking scene, and this is where the episode ends. I thought they did a really good job in this episode compared to what we've seen so far. I thought the storytelling was fairly coherent. I loved the acting for Nynev's character, Nynaeve. Zoe Robbins did a really beautiful job in this episode. I can only imagine what it was like to repeatedly do that scene over and over and over, where you are having to recreate the loss of your child. That seems like it would be torturous, honestly, and I think that she articulated that very, very well. The plot is slowly starting to progress a little bit, so that's good. We are moving along with the Rand and Logain storyline. We will probably see more of them upcoming in the season, and hopefully we will get a little bit more background on Perrin and what's going on with him and the wolves. But the thing that seems to be slightly the most problematic at this point is the lack of Mat's development, even though he's now been partnered up with Min. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of episode 3, what you're hoping to see more of, what you're hoping to see less of. If you like videos like this, you can help support me by hitting like and subscribe. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye.